LegacyMaker, the All Sports Network.
This is it. This is for all the chips. Work for championships. No, it gets no better than this. Just sit and relax a bit. We're talking to pass and blitz. We're talking to jump and switch. We're talking to pitch and miss. Clean space, kick space. You come to the right place. Beat bait. I don't need to see other shows. I'm straight. Cause they're not impressing me. I tune into Legacy. Legacy. Fourth and goal and on the road. Legacy. Down 3 seconds to go. Legacy. 2 out, bases loaded. Legacy. It's not a mystery, you're tuned into Legacy. Check the flag on the final lap. Legacy. 12th round, who gets in the match? Legacy. You want a Legacy. You build a Legacy. Broadcasting live right now so the whole world can see.
Now, the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast.
Welcome, everybody. We about to get this bad boy started.
Here are your hosts, Darrell Owens and Jay Quimby.
Up, ladies and gentlemen, we are here for another episode of the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast here on the LegacyMaker Sports Network. We are sitting at episode 306. To a technicality, it could be technically 308, but we will not talk about that out loud. So once again, everybody, I'm your man, Darrell Owens.
Technicality.
Yeah, remember a while back I went through a review of the shows, and I think number-wise I went back and might have. I think we did 238 twice.
I think we did one. Mr. Rollback rolled it back too much.
Just too many episodes. So I think we might be technically at 208, but that's
it's
not. If we're going
still not enough for doing this almost 6 years.
I mean, we're averaging about an episode a week. Look at it for 6-year purposes. That's about right.
I don't know where
think about it.
Your
Divide
math.
6 years, 52 weeks in a year.
Mm-hmm.
We got
but we're in year 6, so you can't. Use
so
that.
we're a little under. Yeah, but if you use it at year 6 and you're averaging it, boom, boom. Check the math later. We're close.
I know it's 300. I can do math. I'm just telling you that we're in probably week 28, so it don't count. 4. Okay, I'm way ahead of myself. Actually, we're in like week 20, 21, give or take.
Of this week. Of this
year, not week.
Yes.
You said
Agreed.
week.
Well, like I said, if you
right.
average it out, you'll see.
I'm not trying to be mean, but fuck the math. Let's talk football.
The math is there. That's all I'll say. I'll let it go after that. All right, look. All right,
you can't count.
I can count. All right, don't you disrespect the Amelia education. I know you tend to like to do that every now and then.
I don't disrespect that y'all counting bushels, okay?
All right, everybody, what is up? We are glad to be here for another episode. Look, we got a noon episode today here on this Wednesday. It is none other than the official day of the league year.
It's noon 30 also.
Wow, noon 30. I like that. Noon 30. So, yes, the official day of the new league year, and that means we're all, 2022 is behind us on the league front. It's all about 2023. We've had a lot of big moves that have happened over the last couple of days, and we're gonna definitely go over some of that today. We're gonna talk about some of the trades. We'll also go through and of course do cash or trash a little bit later on. And we're also right now, ladies and gentlemen, on Aaron Rodgers' watch. Currently right now, Pat McAfee show is on, which I will full disclosure. We have Pat McAfee going on right there at 1:00 on Pat McAfee show. We will find out potentially
decision 2.0.
Yes, decision 2.0. So we're going to find out if Aaron Rodgers is officially going to accept it and go and become a New York Jet. We're going to find all that out.
I would love for him to get traded to the Canadian League, and you guys get Johnny Manziel and a life supply of maple syrup.
Nah, man, that sounds absolutely miserable. Not something I would want in my life
Anyways,
at all.
Let's go.
But yeah, so we got all of that going on today. So there will be a period, probably about 1:00. It's about 20 minutes from now. We're going to be like, all right, let's see what's going on in these streets.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, and kind of find out from there. But with all that being said, there is a lot to talk about. We do want to talk about, some of the moves that have happened over in the last Well, in the last couple of days, it's been
probably
adventurous.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday at noon is when it started.
Yeah, it got a little crazy. We also had Sunday, we had a big move happen. I mean, I'm glad I take these glasses off. They're just crooked. So we had a big move on Sunday, and I guess we'll talk a little bit about some of these trades that have happened before we get into the signings and all that stuff. So one of the biggest trades that happened right off the bat on Sunday is we saw the Dolphins trade for Jalen Ramsey. And it was a very interesting move. Didn't see the Dolphins making this move. I mean, obviously Byron Jones was a situation, but very interesting.
It was interesting. The thing that really got me is that they let Ramsey pick where he wanted to go, which, okay, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently the Lions were in on this and offered a better package, but Ramsey didn't want to go to Lions. Why would you not want to? I mean, the man is still in his prime. Why would you not want to be a face of an entire, franchise?
I'm gonna tell you, if he'd went to the Lions, that would have been huge for them. I think that if they could have made that happen, we talked about how bad that Lions defense has been over the last, at least last year. Even though they were good for a nice chunk of last year, that defense is what held them back most of the time.
That secondary definitely does not give the pass rushers time to get to the quarterback. That's for sure.
Yeah, so that was a tough deal, but Miami's made some interesting moves this offseason. But that one,
a third-round pick for a talent like that. We need to have a talk. I would love for you to come on our show and tell me how you value draft picks.
Right.
Because this shit don't make sense to me. It's not adding up.
I was kind of blown away by it too. I really didn't understand what the strategy was with it, but I would have thought that if they could have maybe gotten a second for him, I would have felt a little bit better.
Didn't they flip like a first and a second, or a first and a third to get him?
They yeah, pretty much. They had to do a lot of giving away just to get them in the first place. And yes, you look at it, you did get a Super Bowl out of it, but
hey, they're in the same boat as Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now. Well, we're going to talk about that shit.
Right.
Next.
All right. So other trades that have happened kind of in the last couple of days. Another big one. We saw Stephen Gilmore get traded yesterday.
Highway fucking robbery.
Another one where it was like, okay, here's a trade. We're going to give you a 5th-round pick for a former NFL Defensive Player of the Year.
2019.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago that we saw saw this man do some good stuff. So for the Cowboys, this gives them a Stephon type of situation going on. Yeah, it's like Trayvon got a Stephon on his team. It just ain't his brother. It's Gilmore.
But if you look at what Stephon might be able to teach Diggs,
mm-hmm.
He will no longer be that. It's either an interception or a big play for the other team with him.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would love the leadership poll the way they flipped this, but for a 5th-round pick, Indy? I know they needed a cap space, but damn.
Heck of a deal on their part. Dallas, also, I think yesterday they signed Wilson, but we'll get into they re-signed one of their players, defensive backs from last year too, but we'll talk about it a little bit later. But I do love the trade for Dallas. This is a way that you can you get your defense instantly got better bringing in Stephen Gilmore.
But then you look at the Colts side, even their other starting corner, Rock Yasin, or however you say it, he's a free agent.
Yeah. So, interesting things that the Colts are doing, but that was another. And then the other big trade before we move on to some of the moves, and we'll probably talk about a little bit of the cuts as we go through. But another trade was the Darren Waller trade to the New York Giants. That one kind of blew a couple people because we were just talking about maybe the day before when Jimmy G signed. Man, look at this offense. They're going to have Waller. They're going to have Renfro. They're going to have Adams. And yes, Jimmy G is Jimmy G, but I mean, they're going to be in really good shape where Jimmy G should have probably some of the best offensive weapons he's had.
McDaniel's offense really runs off of the tight end position.
Mm-hmm.
And, Waller in his first 3 seasons played every game. He's been banged up the last 2. I understand it, but then I don't. Again, the Giants, they have a need for it, but Evan Ingram got franchise tagged with a different, team because he was able to play.
Right.
And, they had him. It don't calculate. I think Waller is going to go to New York, and we'll watch his career do this.
Well, we'll see. I think I hated it to an extent. I know that, obviously the Giants need more weapons. That is not, that's not an understatement. But we talked about this. Like, this is dumb because now you look at it. The Packers offered a 2nd-round pick for Waller last year, and
no, we're good.
And then they said, no, we solid. They even tried to get Waller in the trade for Devontae, and they said, no, we good. So they held off on bringing Waller in to Green Bay. They just wouldn't make the deal with him. And, looking at hindsight, I'm okay with it, especially knowing Waller's injury history. I mean, the name sounds paper. The name sounds sexy on paper, but I'm not sure if that is what I wanted on a full, all the way through.
Agree, because he goes from one condition, that's a dome, right, in Vegas?
Right.
And then playing in the Arctic chill up there. I mean, I could see the injury. I stubbed my toe, son. I'm out.
Yeah, and that's the thing that kind of, it's just like I'm not sure. Hopefully it'll be a good move for him, and everything works out. But I still need to see, what they do for that receiver position. Obviously, Isaiah Hodges had himself a good end of the year, for himself towards the end of the year. I can't think of the other. I think is it not Wicks, Ricky. But the young guy, number 83 for their team. He made some really good plays for them, but they need weapons. I cannot think. I think it's Ricky Weeks. But don't get me lying on that.
Ricky Weeks, he was a running back in the 90s, dude.
Oh man, oh my God, it's Ricky something.
Hold on, I'm trying to pull it up. Just give me a second.
All right, so I got one quick Aaron Rodgers update here. Before we move on into the offseason stuff here. Aaron Rodgers, this is according to NFL Network. The Packers and Jets haven't agreed on an Aaron Rodgers trade yet. Green Bay is not looking for the multiple first-round picks that people were coming out and saying that they were looking for. I'm looking for the multiple first-round picks.
Well,
that's me personally, but that's just me.
What was his number you said?
I was 83. I think it was 83.
There's not an 83 on their roster, man. Even free agents. Callie I'm not making this up. Pimpleton is his last name. David Sills, Colin Johnson, Hodges.
I don't know the name as soon as you say it.
Wandale Robinson. He's been in nothing. You're thinking Richie James.
Richie James. Okay, okay. All right,
he's no longer there. He's no longer
there. So so they definitely got some moves that they're going to have to make with that. But those are some of the big trades, and I might be missing one. If I am, I apologize. But we'll probably go through it as we go through.
Break down what
the list. So let's kind of go ahead and go through it. We'll start off with the AFC East. So we'll start off with the AFC East. And in the AFC East, the Buffalo Bills. This is what the Buffalo Bills have done so far. Deontay Hardy from the New Orleans Saints, now there in Buffalo. Connor McGovern, Tyler Matakovic, Matt Milano, and Sam Martin. Those are the Buffalo Bills moves so far. For the Dolphins, Mike White entering the fold. Raheem Morset is returning. Jeff Wilson, David Long, and of course the trade for Jalen Ramsey. Now this trade for Jalen Ramsey, they got a 3rd-round pick, which is the 77 overall, and they also sent Hunter Long, former Boston College tight end, there for New England. Calvin Anderson agreed to a 2-year deal. Roquan McMillan, former Dolphin. Jonathan Jones signed a 2-year deal to come back.
Ohio State.
Yeah. Riley Reif, the offensive tackle, and James Fritz also for the Patriots. And last but not least, the New York Jets, Alan Lazard.
Timeout.
Yeah.
Did you say Jackson? The cornerback for New England.
They don't have him. They don't have him on there.
Where are you looking?
NFL Network.
Well, NFL Network, because I'm pretty sure they re-signed. Because remember, I told you he was better than Ramsey. All right. Go ahead, keep going.
You got me thinking. I'm like, I know. At least I hadn't. At least according to here. So this is NFL Network. Just to be on the safe side, y'all. Alan Lazard, signs a 4-year, $44 million. That's $11 million per year for Alan Lazard. Quincy Williams, linebacker, will also be going there. Chuck Clark, which they got via trade. Me and Jay talked about that. At least we talked personally the other day about that from the Baltimore Ravens. And then, of course, Greg Zuerlein. And just a couple seconds ago, Ian Rappaport reporting that Mr. Jordan Poyer will be returning to the Bills Mafia.
It's a great move.
So that's the AFC East right now. When you look at some of the moves that have been made so far in the AFC East, what are your thoughts on some of those moves?
Ramsey, of course, is going to be a game changer for that defense. And I say not a lot. Jeff Wilson, great, because under that offense when he was running things in California, Jeff Wilson was great. But that line still needs some love. I really feel that line needs a lot of love. They let I think I'm probably going to get this wrong. Long was a linebacker that I think signed somewhere else, and he was a good guy. I absolutely loved him in that defense. But I was going to go with them re-signing Johnson as the big move, but it's not on there, and I'm looking.
He's like, I know it's in there somewhere.
Jonathan Jones. That's the name. Cornerback, Patriots.
Yeah, Jonathan Jones.
Is he on there?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was looking for. That man, he, besides Jamel Dean, was the best 2 corners available in free agency. And the re-signing of him, that defense is still hurting because, McCourty retired. The Patriots are still a shell of what they've been. But re-signing him is good. Absolutely.
Well, he took less money, which is a good deal because a lot of people thought he would have got a lot more out on the market, but he wanted to stay. He liked being in New England. So
I kind of thought he would go to the silver and black.
Everybody seems to be jumping either if they're a former Patriot, they either went to the Texans or they're going to the Raiders. So too many New England ties. Too many New England ties going on there. I will say this.
What do you think?
For me, I'm looking at this. I thought Buffalo would probably make a bigger move at receiver, but Hartley has some good moments for New Orleans. He's more of a return guy for them. But the thing about it, I still expect Buffalo to make a move at receiver. There's not a big receiver class free agency wise, so that may wait till the draft. For the Dolphins, bringing back Morissette and Wilson, they had together they worked well together. They did some good things, and there's still a chance that they may look for another running back. There's some running backs that could be available, big names, but I don't know if that'll be something they look into as well. For the Patriots, I just feel like they haven't done anything special. I mean, obviously they brought some people back or, brought a couple, but nothing big. But that's the New England way. We don't usually see them make a lot of big moves. But everybody right now, their eyes are on the New York Jets. So we are waiting to find out what the Aaron Rodgers situation is going to be.
Because how would they feel if they signed Alan Lazard to that deal and then Aaron Rodgers don't come?
Well, if that's the case, Alan Lazard made out like a fat cat.
Oh yeah,
and that's just Aaron taking care of his guy.
Well,
I'll look at it that way.
In the Twitter sphere, there was rumors that the Broncos made a big move and offered him more money than what the Jets did, but he went there because of the Aaron Rodgers.
Because of Aaron Rodgers, he knows. My thing is Aaron loves Alan Lazard. All the people that he asked for in the wish list, except for OBJ, that's the only that we haven't really heard any concrete.
That one don't make a damn bit of sense because if you look at
he's been trying to get him for 2 years.
But that wide receiving core is already stacked.
That's true.
I know Corey Davis is one hangnail away from the IR, but they still got more. And Garrett Wilson, offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by something because if you're signing Lazard, Cobb, and Mercedes I can understand because they don't have, but they have their tight end situations and phenomenal. But I can see Mercedes coming in and blocking and all that stuff, and then maybe just giving Aaron that comfort. But like I said, for me so far, the Jets are just the most intriguing piece of the puzzle in the AFC East.
So can I just want to say one thing. and this will be done with it. Aaron Rodgers right now is the GM, the agents for the players, and his own guy in New York.
It's brilliant, right?
I mean, he got him. He got him.
You got him. I'm like, look, I'm not mad. A lot of people would think, oh man, you're upset. No, not upset at all. I personally think it's time to move on. But once we find out what Aaron says here on McAfee, we'll get a little bit more into that. Let's go to the AFC North. AFC North. Not a lot of moves so far in the AFC North. They haven't been as busy. The biggest things right now, obviously, the Lamar Jackson, non-exclusive franchise tag. We're still waiting because at 4 o'clock today. What was that, Jay?
I'm just baffled that we haven't heard more on somebody making an offer for him.
Well, they can't make an offer for him until 4 o'clock today, Eastern time. So after 4 o'clock today, he can start negotiating with teams. So that's going to be intriguing. That whole situation is going to get scrutinized.
Sir,
completely.
I don't see him going very far, but if he goes anywhere, he's going to the Commanders.
Listening to Ron Rivera, and he could be lying. He could be just playing his cards. But he's adamant. He's like, no, he doesn't. He keeps saying he doesn't want him. The teams that pop in my mind immediately for Lamar Jackson, there's like a couple. I got a wild one today. Somebody's not gonna like what some people may not like what I'm about to say. I don't even think it's possible. But the first one is the Colts. I think if you're the Colts, knowing that the teams ahead of you looking for a quarterback and the teams ahead there, you got that 4th spot. So you would almost have to move up to the 3rd spot in order to get maybe one of those quarterbacks, or unless the Texans are willing to drop back, so on and so on. But I think that, you may not get the quarterback that you covet at 4. You would almost have to move it to 3 to even get one of them that you truly covered. So why do all of that when you can, yes, you give up a 1st-round pick this year and next year, but you're going to get a former MVP. And on that turf, he's going to be crazy fast.
And with that, and one of the best lines.
One of the best lines in the league. Then you have Jonathan Taylor. That's the team that, for whatever reason, keeps popping in my head that I think they should make a move. The other team,
I don't hate that at all.
People are going to hate this. Becca, go ahead and close your ears. I think the Dallas Cowboys, aka the Arlington Desperados, should trade Dak Prescott. This is just wild take. Trade Dak Prescott for Lamar Jackson,
but who will take
change
Dak?
That's what I'm saying. Trade him to
Indianapolis.
Yeah, no, trade him to Baltimore. Make the flip. Trade him. That's my wild one. I don't know how Cowboys fans will feel about that, but I just say do it. I say go get Lamar.
I don't hate it because it is a rebuild. There's a lot of talk that Zeke is done.
Yeah, and if Zeke is gone, why not?
I really don't hate that, but I do hate it because the Cowboys might win.
Yeah, that's the thing, and that's the thing. And that's why I said it would change the dynamic. But I know a lot of Cowboy fans. I know how they feel about
the lack of production from a 40.
Yeah. And numbers wise, if you look at the statistics don't look bad. It's just the interceptions at bad times. There's a lot of that Romo syndrome. It's like you look at it statistically, Romo's if not the best quarterback in Cowboys.
It sounds like an NFC quarterback that we talked about that is now in the NFC South.
Yeah.
And Taylor Heineke.
Yeah.
Interceptions at bad times.
Yeah. If you go ahead and do that was just my wild card one. I
didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do it, but it would be funny. I don't know if it can work money-wise, but I say, hey, why not?
But now you say that, now I'm thinking, what about the Arizona Cardinals sending Kyler Murray?
Yeah,
and the 3rd-round pick.
Send him number 3. Put Jackson there. Send Murray. Murray's gonna be on the shelf.
Because the coach didn't draft him. They had multiple coaches turn down a job. Mm-hmm. Because Kyler Murray got that contract.
Yeah, and I think a lot of them don't like his, attitudes and stuff. So, or
Call
the way he goes about things. So,
see you in Aaron Rodgers week.
COD. So with the Ravens, the only moves that have been made so far, obviously, is the tag and then Trayvon Mullen.
It's 1 o'clock.
It is 1 o'clock, and he's on. Hold on.
Maybe one player.
I'm gonna have it on low here. So as things go, if I hear anything, I will stop. So Baltimore, has Lamar Jackson, obviously, with a tag, and then Trayvon Mullen, they re-signed to a 1-year deal. The Bengals, Jermaine Pratt re-signed for 3 years, $21 million. The Browns, Dalvin Tomlinson, which I thought was a really nice pickup for them. Obi Coronan Korobo.
It's actually a good pickup for them.
I don't know how bad I destroyed it, but I did the best I could.
Well, because he, I wish Lamont was on here so he could say this, guys. But remember the Notre Dame guy, Jeremiah Usawakataka? I don't know.
Yeah. If that's what we need right now, Lamont will be able to say this flawlessly.
But that guy has not really worked out to what we thought, and that's why they brought him in.
Mm-hmm. We'll see.
What is the Steelers doing or nothing?
Well, that's the thing. The Steelers made a couple moves. Nate Herbig signed a 2-year, $8 million deal. Cole Holcomb, which is a very interesting signing there. They needed some depth.
Machine.
Yeah, they needed some depth at the linebacker position. They were looking for depth at the linebacker position. Cole Holcomb had a pretty decent year before he got hurt last year, which is a solid pickup there for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then they signed the crafty veteran Patrick Peterson to a 2-year, $14 million deal, guaranteed. So what are your thoughts on the AFC North? Not a lot of moves, but what are your thoughts on those moves?
I'm concerned about Cincinnati. They let Bates go, which they franchise tagged him last year. But then they lost Von Bell. He went to Carolina. Their safeties are wiped out. I don't see them going back to the AFC Championship unless they start signing some free agents to help themselves. And the line they tried to secure was half-assed last year. Yeah. They needed to do more. They
didn't crank up until late, and even late, that wasn't even their full line. They had like bits and pieces, and there was some injury people but they played stronger later in the year. But who knows? Maybe we'll see how they do in year 2, if they can stay fully healthy there. For me, in this division, not a lot. I do love the Cole Holcomb signing by Pittsburgh. But I kind of agree with you. If Cincinnati wants to make a run, they've got to, to try to make another run at it. They've got to make sure they can secure that defense and make sure
it's the lack of signing that gets us in this division.
Yeah. Now it's early. It is early, y'all. This is technically the first day that signings can kind of go down. So we're still kind of waiting on that to see how that all works out. Because, this is the first wave is happening this week, second wave next week. So there's still a lot to go. AFC South. Now, in the AFC South, there's been a lot of signings. Like, this is probably in a lot of people's eyes, if not the worst. They were the second worst division in football last year. The Souths just didn't do well last year. AFC South. This is what the Houston Texans have done so far, and they've made a lot of moves. Case Keenum signs a 2-year deal. Noah Brown, former Cowboy, he is there now. Robert Woods, former Titan and Ram, also there. Andrew Beck, the tight end, he has signed there. Shaq Mason was acquired in the trade from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Scott Quisenberry, I might be saying that wrong, but Quisenberry re-signed. Quisenberry, thank you, sir. So Scott Quisenberry re-signs with the Texans. Chase Winovich, all expected to sign with the Texans. Hassan Ridgeway, MJ Stewart, and Jimmy Ward. So Jimmy Ward leaving San Francisco to come and be back with his
I checked the Commanders' schedule just so you see if you could get smoked by him again.
No, I'm in the clear this year. For the Indianapolis Colts. They signed Matt Gay for a 4-year, $22 million deal.
Highest paid kicker ever.
Right? EJ Speed, Taquan Lewis, and Samson Ubukem on a 3-year, $27 million deal. For the Jacksonville Jaguars, CJ Beathard comes in and re-signs a 2-year deal. Evan Ingram gets a non-exclusive franchise tag, just like old Lamar Jackson there. Roy Robertson Harris, and then Andrew Wingard, who they signed, I believe, they re-signed him yesterday. And last but not least, the Tennessee Titans, Andre Dillard signed a 3-year, $20 million deal. Daniel Brunskill, I'm going with that. Arden Key is a nice pickup for Tennessee because he had a pretty good year last year for Jacksonville. Aziz Alsar, and then Morgan Cox. So that's your AFC South. A lot of moves by the Texans. A lot of moves.
And you see the DeMarco Ryans doing that building his defense first before doing anything offensively, which, I mean, they're going to be on the field a lot, so you got to.
But you have to. I mean, you look at that defense was, if I'm not mistaken, they were either the worst or next to last in defense last year. They gave up a lot of points.
You know, I like Winovich also. MJ Stewart was a guy that did well. He come out of his shell in Cleveland last year. So, okay, yeah. But it's the lack of, again, you pay a kicker. Remember that guy with the big spectacles that they had that was fantastic?
Yeah, Blankenship. Yeah, Blankenship.
And all of a sudden, he just couldn't kick straight.
I mean, that's the life of a kicker, man. Like
Matt Gay. Well, but see, I don't know. Different surface.
It's weird because certain kickers will have this like streak where things are like, you know, there's like, man, look at the sensation.
Crazy.
There's not a lot of long. I know it may sound crazy. There's some maybe like 8 or 9 kickers that have like real good longevity. Mason Crosby,
Justin Tucker,
Robbie Good, Matt Gay, Zerline. I mean, there's a couple guys that have been in the league for a while now.
Here's Anderson. Remember Anderson?
Yeah,
he played for like 23
both
years.
Andersons, Mort and Gary. So, you know, 2 of the greatest kickers of all time with the last name Anderson, but yet not family. I always thought that was curious as a kid. I like to me, I think the Texans have gotten better based off of some of the C signings here. I do like the Shaq Mason. You can try to secure that line a little bit for whoever your rookie quarterback is going to be next season, and whoever they decide. Well, they got Case Keenum, but if whoever their rookie quarterback is going to be next year, you bring in that guy. You bring your center back. So I like some of those.
The Case Keenum signing though kind of makes you wonder, and with that pick, if they stay there, they might not. If Keenum can come in and teach David Mills, who's already a serviceable starter, I'm just saying. So,
hold on one second, ladies and gentlemen. Aaron Rodgers officially talking. I know they're going to probably ask the question right off the bat. I'm going to keep it a little low just in case, but we're still waiting to hear what's going on there. But for me, I think they did the most work. I like most of the work they did. All the rest of the division, you know, made some signings here or there, but nothing that like really jumps out. Other than that Arden Key move to the Titans, I like that move a lot.
Absolutely. I think Jacksonville should have kept him.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they let him loose because he was really got things going in that defense.
He took because Allen fell off last year because they know what he could do.
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of, prospered off of Allen being on the field. So, anyways, next.
All right, so now we head to the last AFC division, and this is the AFC West. All right, so there's a lot of moves that happened in the AFC West between 2 teams in particular, the Broncos and the Raiders. Made a lot of moves, but here we go. So we'll start with the Broncos. First, they get themselves a backup quarterback and Jarrett Stidham. Oh, I said his name wrong.
Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah. So Jarrett Stidham, who actually had some good moments when he came in and played for Carr last year. I was surprised that he went elsewhere.
Wasn't he really a backup in
New England? He was in New England, and then when Carr had his moments last year, they let him start towards the end of the season.
Make sense.
Yeah, but maybe I don't know. But see, maybe that makes me wonder, like, because unless McDaniels told him that he wasn't going to get a chance to start. But even if that's the case, wouldn't you still stay there since you know his offense? So it was a very surprising move for me, unless Stidham knows something that we don't know. Samaje Perine, which is a really nice pickup.
Yes.
For Denver. Now, Denver's always been a team when it comes to running backs that they've usually been able to find a running back that could just do something. Now, obviously, they've got Javonte Williams, but Perine comes in as a really nice second piece on that team.
But here, like within the last 4 to 5 years, they've really been missing more than hitting. For me, this is great. Perine is going to light it up, but do you remember Philip Lindsay?
Yeah.
After Pro Bowl year, let him walk.
Yep. And then he hasn't been the same guy since. So we'll run through. So Mike Burton, fullback, they signed him for a 1-year contract. Chris Manhertz, Ben Powers, signed a 4-year, $52 million deal. One of the best, offensive linemen in this free agency. They lock him up. Then guess what? What do? They go sign Mike McGlinchey, another a great offensive lineman there. And so they lose. They win and say, look, let's go and grab some people. They get 2 starters there. Zach Allen comes in on a 3-year, $45 million deal, and then Alex Singletary. Then we head to the Chiefs. Jawan Taylor in a surprising move. A lot of people didn't see this one happening, but they signed him to a 4-year, $80 million deal. Tershawn Wharton.
I was waiting for that one, or then for you to say Charles' name.
I looked at it. Charles Omenihu.
That was what I was going to go with.
Charles Omenihu. So they signed him as well to a 2-year deal. Las Vegas Raiders, Jimmy Garoppolo signs that 3-year, $72 million deal. Amir Abdullah re-signing with the team. Josh Jacobs received the non-exclusive franchise tag. Jacoby Myers comes in on a 3-year, $33 million deal. Brandon Parker, Brandon Faison, yeah, we'll go there. Marcus Epps, the former Eagle, now also heading to the Raiders. Then for the Chargers, we had Easton Stick, Trey Pippins, and Eric Kendrick, the former linebacker for the Minnesota Vikings. So the AFC West, a lot of movement. What are your thoughts?
I like the Eric I love Eric Hendricks pickup in this defense, the 3-4. They had their 2 edge rushers take a pay cut. Khalil Mack and Bosa both restructured their deals to bring people in. If they trade Austin Eckler, they're dumb. That's all I'm going to say on that. The best pickup, in my opinion, was Marcus Epps. Yeah,
great pickup there with Marcus Epps. Great pickup with Marcus Epps.
Again, the Eagles didn't keep him. He played phenomenal, and when he's played. So that is my favorite because they didn't do much.
Well, I think a lot of, and I heard this early on NFL radio on Sirius XM, and it made a lot of sense to me. I think a reason why we're seeing a lot of the Eagles defensive players go bye-bye is they got to try to find a way to sign Jalen Hurts because it's coming. And I think they're kind of preparing themselves for that. It may not happen like right away, but I think that's what's happening here. They knew they signed all these guys to make this push now, like to hopefully, make the Super Bowl now. Now it's like, okay, we're not going to be able to sign everybody back.
I mean, it makes sense, but as a GM, let's backload these contracts. Give them a good signing bonus, but backload the final years. That way, so if you got to cut them, you can work around that.
Exactly. So looking at this overall, I like the moves Denver made. I think they helped themselves on the offensive line. You get your solid backup.
I'm surprised they didn't trade a wide receiver. I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep.
No, you're good. It's still coming. I think that trade for a wide receiver is still coming because they need, to be honest with you, and Russell Wilson in the past has been able to make, chicken salad out of, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Receiver. Now, obviously, that didn't happen the way they wanted to happen last year. But maybe I still think they make a move for one because that receiving core young but injury prone.
Oh yeah,
young but injury prone, and it's sad because Drudy had a lot of expectation coming out. Sutton was a 2nd-round pick, and then Hamlin I think they got in the 2nd or the 3rd. I believe.
Third, yeah, something like.
Yeah.
But he Hamler's the guy I absolutely love coming out of the Big Ten.
Yeah,
he's a possession receiver, but small, so that's why he's always hurt.
Oh, hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second here. And wait a quick second. Aaron is talking a little. Let's see if we can
believe that I was a descending player and that it was time to make a change, even though we're just coming off the NFC Championship game and obviously we got blown out by San Fran, but we had a 13-3 season and
he trashed for this.
With a number 2 seed and made it all the way to the NFC Championship.
Aaron Rodgers said this.
So they drafted a guy to replace me.
He said, I will say that this is not decision day. This isn't announcing to the world what's going to happen. You know what? This mother.
Even farther back.
Make a decision.
Come on. You want to say it.
I'm not thrilled.
Ted Thompson. John Schneider is now GM of Seattle. Reggie McKenzie, who went on to be GM of
we don't need his bullshit.
Yeah, and it make me upset. I saw that line, and my whole energy done changed. My whole energy done changed. Mother sucker. Make the trade. Don't have time for this, man. Making my blood pressure run.
Hey, this is how I felt last year when Tom Brady
Jesus
retired.
Christ,
I was like,
man.
Really, motherfucker?
I mean, but This is oh my goodness.
I really think he is using his spite to hold both franchises, and it's not fair to the Jets, but it's definitely not fair to you guys.
Man, I don't know what they're doing, man. I mean, make a decision, my guy. But he said it hasn't been decision day, but I didn't reckon in his moves. There's no way. All right, so while he's still,
Babbling,
babbling and okie dokie and the whole giving Pat McAfee all the ratings he could possibly get. He got 464,000 people on his live stream right now. 464,000 people on that live stream. Anyway, all right, let's get back to it. Let's head to the NFC. The NFC East is next. The Dallas Cowboys, aka the Arlington Desperados. They signed Tony Pollard to a non-exclusive franchise tag. Leighton Vander Esch, they re-signed yesterday to a 2-year, $11 million deal. We talked about Stephon Gilmore being acquired in the trade, and Donovan Wilson was the name of the young man, the safety that they brought back on a 3-year deal. Then the New York Giants, a lot of moves for the New York Giants. Daniel Jones signs a 4-year, $160 million deal. Saquon Barkley also signing that franchise tag. And here's the thing: Barkley is also in the same position that Lamar Jackson is. If somebody wants to give up 2 first-round picks for him, by all means.
But this is I gave you that. Go ahead and go back through, and then I'll tell you about the Giants thing.
All right, cool. So Matt Breida is returning as well. Sterling Shepard returning on a 1-year, $1.3 million deal. Darren Waller was acquired in the trade. Raheem Nunez-Roches
from Tampa Bay.
Coming to New York. Gerard Davis, who was, I believe, he signed with them last year after he left the Lions, correct?
Yes.
He re-signed with the team. So Bobby Okereke, and then Jamie Gillian. Then for the Eagles, we got Rashad Penny, Boston Scott. So Boston Scott returned. Jason Kelsey, who's a big part of, he's huge. That's as big as a signing you're going to get in the offseason for the Eagles. Brandon Graham coming back, another big signing for them, and James Bradbury also re-signing. Then you go to the Commanders. Very interesting offseason, but I like some of these moves. Andrew Wiley trying to improve that offensive line. Nick Gates from the Giants trying to improve that offensive line. Deron Payne, this is the big one. Deron Payne is probably top 5 defensive tackles in the league. You got to get that guy back in there. Cody Barton signed a 1-year fully guaranteed contract. David Mayo signed re-signed the 1-year extension. We had Cameron Dantzler, who used to be Minnesota Viking. They claimed him off of waivers. And Danny Johnson, who had some really decent moments last year for the Washington Commanders, re-signs with the team for 2 years. So that's what we're looking like in the East. A lot of moves in the East. A lot of moves in the East, Jay.
Yeah. This is going to hurt. Now, going to the – okay, you're looking at your phone.
I'm sorry. It popped. That's why I looked down. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Seriously, how is your blood pressure? Is it good?
It feels solid right now. I'm more mad because he's wasting my time. At this point. He's wasting my time.
But the New York Giants have drafted 53 players this millennia. They have only re-signed 3 of them after their rookie contract has been expired.
It's crazy.
It don't make. I mean, that's crazy. Your GM and your scouting department all should be fired if that's your.
That means you're just never hitting on picks.
Exactly.
Never hitting on picks.
And if Daniel Jones is the highest signed one so far,
yeah. I mean, you can't. I don't know if you can. Well, because they tagged Barkley, so you can't even count that. It's just it's craziness.
But the best move besides the trade the Cowboys pulled off is the Bobby Okereke. I can't say the name by the Giants.
Okereke.
Yes,
we'll go with Okereke.
He was a great piece of Indianapolis's defense last year, and in what the hell, Wink Martindale, is that the guy? His defense. He's going to be the new Jordan Love. Jordan Love played linebacker, the hybrid position. That's what this guy will play, except he'll do better than Jordan Love.
I think my favorite move is probably the Stephon Gilmore trade to the Cowboys, because Gilmore is
Highway robbery.
It's highway robbery, man. They got a heck of a deal for a 5th-round pick for a guy who, not saying he's a future Hall of Famer, but the guy is a consummate pro. I mean, you're going to get somebody who's going to come in there and help lead that defense. You're not going to get nobody slacking there. So I love that move there. Of course, the Jason Kelce move, the Ron Payne. Some of these re-signings are probably some of the best moves in this division, though. So I like the Tony Pollard move. We did hear that Zeke will probably be cut today at 4:00. That's not official yet, but that's the word on the street. And if he does get cut, I will ask you this: where do you see him going? I mean, Zeke Elliott being out there, it's interesting because
his first 2 years he was phenomenal,
right?
But the lifespan of a running back in the NFL, you see, is not guaranteed,
right?
But I'm sorry, the Bills.
That would be a nice spot. I don't know if his body physically can handle the cold all that much.
Ohio State?
Yeah, but I mean, it's been a couple years since he's been in Ohio State. So
I mean, that's fair. Okay, then how about the Lions?
Lions would be a good spot. They, now that they're more likely not going to bring Jamal Williams back, which I'm just baffled by that.
That man has some of the greatest quotes ever. Yeah,
they signed David Montgomery, which we'll get into in a little bit, but and I kind of like that for David Montgomery if he can stay healthy. But it's just, I don't know. It was kind of a weird one for me. I'm not sure, but he's going to be I still think he'll be a hot commodity to an extent because maybe he just needs to get out of Dallas. Who knows? And maybe you have a little bit of a resurgence. Maybe not those first 2 years resurgence. Well, he was still serviceable. He still got close to 1,000 yards rushing.
Here's a random throw. Saints,
yeah. If Kamar doesn't make that way back, you can definitely look at him there. I was thinking Atlanta, because I know I did hear the Atlanta Derrick Henry moves. That was one. Maybe even the Panthers. So you gotta look at teams like that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to give you the whole South, man. That's dirty. That's dirty.
Except my team, because
maybe Chicago. Chicago's gonna need a running back. I'm sorry. Let's go to my division. Let's go to my division, the NFC North. Oh man, this is gonna be a great one because I already know Green Bay ain't got no signings. All right, so the North, the Chicago Bears. They signed Travis Homer. Nice pickup there. Kind of does a little special teams, but can come in and do some things.
He hits a homer occasionally.
Yeah, yep, he sure does. Kari Blasingame? Yeah,
I'm just letting you have it.
Yep, that's cool. DJ Moore, probably the biggest move that they had in this offseason, in my opinion. Obviously, they had Tremont Evans, but DJ Moore coming in, giving them a solid number one receiver.
That trade.
It's crazy. Crazy trade.
I mean, I'm not mad at it one bit.
Crazy trade.
Moving back to 9th pick, you can possibly get a guy that's falling because of things like Carter or however.
Yeah, you can get Carter. You can get your offensive line help, which I think you continue to build that offensive line because you need to protect. Justin Fields has to get back to the mindset of throwing the football first, and which is what he has now. But the offensive line was so bad last year. You notice he held onto the ball a long time, but then he would take off running. Why? Because
he's running for his life.
Running for his life. Nate Davis signed a 3-year, $30 million deal, so that helps a little bit on the O-line. DeMarcus Walker signs a 3-year deal, from the edge, and we got Tremont Edmonds from VA in the building, 4-year, $72 million deal, one of the best linebackers in the league. TJ Edwards, like you said earlier, a very underrated, underrated signing, 3 years, $19.5 million, which he probably could have got more elsewhere. But he decides to go to Chicago.
I heard on Edwards is because he looks up to Brian Urlacher. That is his hero from being a kid. That's why he wanted to go there.
That's cool. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think if I was a player in the league and Green Bay offered me something and it was a little less, I'd probably take it.
They would offer you a snow cone and a ham sandwich.
And a ham sandwich, and I'd take it. I'd be like, let's get in there. Just let me run on the field one time with the pads on. Then we got the Detroit Lions. We talked about them signing David Montgomery. He stays within the division, 3-year, $18 million. Craig Reynolds, who was decent part of the team last year. He had a big moment in Hard Knocks. He was on Hard Knocks quite a bit. Isaiah Buggs, signs with the team, resigns with the team. John Kaminsky resigns. Alex Azzoni. I could be saying that
It's
wrong.
okay. He's a Florida linebacker.
Okay, here we go, y'all. This is the news we've been waiting for. Aaron Rodgers wants trade to the Jets. He tells Pat McAfee he intends to play for New York as the Packers and the Jets work out a deal. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the news.
Breaking news.
That is the news that we were waiting for.
Yes.
So Aaron Rodgers agrees to a trade to the New York Jets.
Congratulations. You feel better?
I feel a lot better. I mean, why do you have to drag it out for 20 minutes? But see,
now,
you got to keep people in, though. You got to keep people.
Look at that picture of him down there.
Yeah, he looks so happy.
But look, no.
Oh, look at that.
He's 39 and I'm 43.
I mean, y'all ain't gonna lie to you, man. If the noses were the same, we might be in a little trouble here.
Yeah, but
if the noses were a little bit the same, might be in a little bit of trouble here.
I throw like a vegan.
So we'll get back. We'll go through this and we're about to talk about the Green Bay Packers. So I guess we might as well stay.
Do it.
So the Green Bay Packers, obviously,
we got to see what this deal is because this could be the biggest deal of the entire offseason. I don't care.
Yes. So whatever this ends up happening, I just once they hammer this thing out, which I guess they're still working on that. And Rodgers said he wants to trade to the Jets. So it's happening at some point.
Where are you gonna go hide in New York, you bastard?
You better watch out for those Ninja Turtle sewer rats they got out there.
Oh God!
So the Packers only signing, besides us waiting on the Aaron Rodgers situation, is Keyshawn Nixon, who was an All-Pro last year, a kick returner, did an amazing job for the Packers. I was really stoked to get him back.
Jake Hansen came back, but they didn't say what he got.
Yeah, so we have to wait. I just give me my picks, man. give me my picks, man.
Chappelle just popped in. 1, 2, 3, 5th.
Yeah, I want my picks, man. Hand them smooth. Then the Vikings re-signed quarterback Nick Mullins. Tight end Josh Oliver agreed to a 3-year, $21 million deal. Garrett Bradbury is returning for
the bust of the century.
Yeah, the 3-year, $15 million deal. Marcus Davenport signed a 1-year, $13 million deal to go to Minnesota.
Interesting.
I didn't see that coming, but hey.
I felt they should have kept the guy that Davlin, the defensive lineman, because he was their, penetrator of the pocket. That didn't sound right, but bringing in Byron Murphy to replace Patrick Peterson is a great move.
So then, let's see. We got Byron Murphy, Andrew DePapalo, and then we got Greg Joseph signing back up with the Vikings. Looking at this vision before we move on to the South, which move do you like the most?
Aaron Rodgers' ass getting traded.
Man, look, go ahead and make that jank happen already, man.
I'm excited for you, but I want to see what y'all get back.
So yeah, man,
but
I'm ready.
I'm gonna say, so far the Minnesota Vikings, as a whole package of what they did, yes, I like it. But this trade,
I think for me, I just like what Chicago's doing. I think their GM has done an amazing job of trying to get that team,
I'm
looking
not
like they're trying.
Disliking anything they did. It's just I think they probably should have, there's still a couple linemen out there that they could get, and they got the monies. Donovan Smith signed him to a prove-it deal for 1 year and put him on the right side.
I'm sorry, something crazy just happened. They asked him. I got to throw this in there real quick. So they asked Aaron Rodgers, so is there no chance you're going back to Green Bay? He said he already knew it wasn't going to happen. He said he knew from the get-go that he knew it wasn't going to. He just said that, which makes me mad because if we knew that for months, you should have just said something. Now,
I'm going to throw this at you. Hey, this is how I felt with LeBron James's decision. We do all this. I'm waiting for him to come back to Cleveland, do his thing. I'm taking my talents to South Beach. Well, bitch, go.
Thanks for the 2 rings. That's the only thing I can say about that. I always appreciate the rings, but I ain't gonna lie to you. The day he left, I was happy. I was happy the day he left. Still love LeBron James, for what he's done, but I was glad he was gone. But yeah, for me, I like what the Bears have done. And the DJ Moore thing to me, it's going to be really
but
critical.
one lineman. That's all I'm saying. They've signed one lineman.
They've got to continue to build that line. That is going to be critical. All right, we got 2 divisions left before we head to cash or trash. We're going to start with the NFC South. The Atlanta Falcons have made a ton of moves, and I like what they've done. First, they get Taylor Heineke on a 2-year deal worth $20 million. Keith Smith resigns their fullback. They trade for Juno Smith from the Patriots. Caleb McGarry, a lot of people thought he was not going to return. He comes back to the team. Chris Lindstrom also returning to the team. Lorenzo Carter re-signing with the team. David Onimata. Onimata. We're going to go Onimata. I don't know if I did that one right. Agreed to a 3-year, $35 million. Caden Ellis to a 3-year, $21 million. Jesse Bates, probably the biggest move of all. Signing Jesse Bates.
What the hell was Cincinnati thinking?
I knew last year when they franchise tag and they wasn't bringing him back.
This reminds me of Anthony Harris when they didn't sign him. What's up?
Mm-hmm. No, I'm listening.
So, shame on Cincinnati. They have a star there, and they let him go to Atlanta. Atlanta's doing great.
Yeah. Atlanta's doing a great job. I love what Atlanta's done so far. Next one, Carolina Panthers. Andy Dalton signs a 2-year, $11 million deal to become more likely the backup to the new guy, unless they're going to let Andy start things off. But Carolina fans are not going to want that. They go like, give me the new guy. Let's get it going. Hayden Hurst leaving Cincinnati after signing what I thought he was going to be a really nice deal.
I'm pulling a Rob. No.
Yeah.
What's with the ginger love?
Hey man, they need love too.
They're gonna go out on the beach in Carolina and they get sunburned. Done.
No nags head. No nags head. Next they got Bradley Bozeman re-signing with the team. Their center Shy Tuttle. Wow. That's that guy's name. 3-year, $19.5 million. And then Von Bell also signing with the Carolina Panthers. With the Saints, obviously they got Derek Carr. They re-signed Jameis Winston, which I was surprised, but they did re-sign Jameis Winston. Another person I'm kind of not maybe completely shocked, but Michael Thomas signs a 1-year, $10 million contract, could be up to worth of $15 million. Jawan Johnson signs a 2-year, $12 million deal. Kalen Saunders, who they got from the Chiefs, signs with them. JT Gary and Tahone Kapasagon.
Anybody watching, he's not making this up. It's not.
I'm as close as, and I think the K might be silent, so it might be Pagason, and the K is just there just to be there. But
it's like knife.
It's like knife, yeah, like knife for sure. Then we had the Tampa Bay where they have 2 signings, and that's as of today, Baker Mayfield signed a 1-year, $8.5 million deal, and Jamel Dean re-signed with the Bucks. Thoughts on the NFC South?
Okay, in Tampa, I'm a fan. What the fuck? That's all I got. Jamel Dean is great. The Anthony Nelson deal I just found out about. But Baker Mayfield, really? Baker Mayfield? You could have had Jacoby Brissett and you get Baker Mayfield? Motherfucker. But the OC did bring back Geno Smith's career, and he's down there now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what magic he's got.
Let's see what he can do.
But I'm with Atlanta is the winner here.
Yeah,
hands down.
Atlanta's done a good job. All New Orleans really did was sign a lot of their players back. They grabbed, obviously Carr is probably the biggest piece because you now technically have the best quarterback in that division now.
But if you look at his stats from last year, is he really?
I mean, I wouldn't even say on paper. I maybe just. And I guess in a talent perspective, I think if I was in that division based off of the quarterbacks in that division, I would want Derek Carr out of the rest of the people.
Let's talk about the downfall of Michael Thomas, though. This man set the record for catches in a year.
Yeah.
And
he had back-to-back 100-yard receptions, and he's been hurt.
And I mean, it's just David Boston 2.0 maybe?
Well, we'll see. I'm very intrigued to see how this year goes because if you looked at last year, he started off really good, and then he got hurt. So can he stay healthy?
God, I just said a player that aged me.
No, right. Last division, the NFC West, the Arizona Cardinals signing Corey Clement. Kevin Beecham is re-signing with the team. Will Hernandez, a former Giant, one of the Giants players that did not were not, they weren't able to re-sign after they drafted him in the second round. Kazar White and Matt Prater. For the Rams, Hunter Long, that is it. For the San Francisco 49ers, Sam Darnold signed with the San Francisco 49ers. Jake Brendel, Javon Hargrave, depending on how you want to say it. Big signing for San Francisco. They just made that defense just more. I don't know how much better they can get, but that really,
it's scary.
It's scary, right? Kevin Givens, Tashawn Gibson, Tabor Pepper. That is the San Francisco signings. And Seattle, they re-signed Geno Smith to a 3-year, $75 million deal worth up to $105 million. Draymond Jones signed a 3-year, $51 million deal. And then Jaron Reed, who was a Packer last year, also a former Chief, signed a 2-year deal. His former Seahawk has coming back to Seattle. That is the NFC West. What are your thoughts?
Well, when you first look at it, I mean, I got to go with the 49ers just because bringing Hargrave in for that defense and then, bringing Sam Darnold in, it gives them 2 number 3 picks that, and I think Darnold has just been tossed around too much. But, the one thing that I haven't heard anything about, I just thought of this, sorry. Where's Zach Wilson? Is he moved in with his mom's best friend or something?
No. From what I hear, Zach Wilson, and I think this is part of the lesson. This story kind of has this Jets Packers thing kind of has a love affair if you think about it. Last year, when the Jets played the Packers in the preseason, Aaron Rodgers raved about how talented Zach Wilson was. He saw he said he saw a lot of him in him. If that makes any sense. But he saw a lot of talent and a lot of potential. If you think about this, the Jets, this could be a really smart thing for the Jets. You bring in Aaron, who doesn't mind being a mentor. I know a lot of people give him a lot of crap about the whole Jordan love, but guess what? Him and Jordan are tight. They unlike him and Brett, him and Jordan are tight. And so, Jordan's going to get his chance to start now. But Rodgers never had any ill will. I mean, yes, he didn't like the way things went, but I think this could be good for Zach Wilson.
I'm not going to give him crap because from what I heard, Favre wouldn't teach him a damn thing. He was an asshole to him.
Oh, no, he was a butt to him.
And so for him to do that, I think is amazing. I'm excited for you guys because Jordan Love, we got to see what the kid can do.
I know. I'm excited for football season right now. So I'm just intrigued who's going to be our backup quarterback, but we'll figure that out down the road.
Might be Zach Wilson. I mean, we got to see what this trade nets you guys before we can
if it's
grade.
Zach Wilson, man, I'm going to be like, what?
it wouldn't make sense, but I would rather see you guys get some corner help and some picks.
I would like to steal a player from one of their solid players. If we're going to give you Aaron Rodgers, especially
Fulton.
Well, if you're not going to give us a first round pick for him, I mean, obviously I want draft picks, but if you're going to I want a solid player. So we'll see. For me, I do like out of this group what San Francisco has done. I think they're my winner in the West so far. Darnold, even though people are laugh at it, Darnold didn't play bad when he played last year. He had some moments, maybe just finding the right place for him, I'm not saying he's going to start. Obviously, that you got Trey Lance there, and you have Brock Purdy there. So it's very interesting to see the Sam Darnold signing, unless they plan on trading somebody.
I messed up because Fulton is a rookie, or he's going to in the draft this year. You want Bryce Hall?
I'll take Bryce Hall. I mean, like I said, anything to help prove the team that I feel good about. We'll see, but I want picks. At least I think he did. If they don't give us a first, we got to be a second. But I heard third and fourth, and I'm like, they're tripping. Aaron Rodgers is a 4-time MVP. You give me a second round pick.
This goes back to Les Snead's, cash grab with Matt Stafford, and it makes you wonder why is Aaron Rodgers not worth first round picks?
Right.
The man 2 years ago was a MVP of the league. So I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, like I said, it's interesting to me too. I really don't know how that's going to pan out. But free agency so far is as fun as it always is. High pace moves happen in every 5 to 10 minutes.
I'm already waiting for my top 5 pick next year.
Yeah, well, I think I might be there with you. Aaron, like NFL Network is tripping out here on this television. Aaron Rodgers is in his sweatsuit looking all unhappy, but happy at the same time. So that's a lot going on right now. Once, the show is over, I'm going to have a chance to decompress and figure out what this man is saying.
Oh, he's going to – don't beat up a door.
Look, I'm good. He says he wants to go. I'm happy. The real question is – well, no, I was going to say the real question is this man right here going to let Aaron have his number, Mr. Joe Namath. But I forgot that they did say something that Joe said he would allow Aaron to wear his number. So, but I mean, let's be honest with you. Aaron's the better quarterback anyway. I mean, between him and Joe Namath, Joe Namath is a Hall of Famer because he was cool and he got him and he did one of the greatest predictions.
We're going to win this game. That's
it. And that's why he's a Hall of Famer. I don't want to trash him completely. He had some good moments out there, but
you with these good moments are
good moments. Moments are good moments.
Well, that's what a life is. It's just a bunch of moments.
Bunch of good moments.
Yes.
Yep. All right, so there it is, y'all. That's our NFL offseason recap.
Damn, I'm ready for football again, and I'm just telling ended.
You, man. And here's the thing: there's a lot of free agents left to sign. So by the time when we do come back on, it won't be back on next week, but the week after next we'll be back on.
But then think of that: we got the draft,
and then
right
the draft
after
is
that.
up. Yeah, but after that we're like a month, 4 weeks away from the draft. So everything is starting to crank up, ladies and gentlemen. But now let's go ahead and finish this thing off properly.
And now it's time for Cash or Trash.
Gentlemen, it is time for Cash or Trash. We got 3 of them for you today. Let's go ahead and get it started. First one, Cash or Trash. Is Jimmy Garoppolo an upgrade for Derek Carr? Cash or Trash?
I got to trash it because Jimmy G, when he's healthy, is a decent quarterback. Mm-hmm. The problem is when he's healthy, he basically, I don't know. I think Carr is the better quarterback. Not sorry.
I'm going to cash that is an upgrade, and it's only an upgrade because of the system. It has nothing to do with talent because I think Derek Carr is more talented. But I think system-wise, Garoppolo will come in, not have to do as much. Obviously, he's had to learn his teammates and stuff, but he's going to come in and pretty much know the offense. And I think that's going to be a critical piece.
But that line is suspect.
No, she ain't cute. That's something that they're going to have to fix, and hopefully maybe a great combination of Josh Jacobs and Amir Abdullah, and maybe they can figure that thing out here.
Well, I'm not sold on it because the last couple quarterbacks when McDaniels was a head coach that won him a playoff game was Tim Tebow.
Yeah, I know, man.
Kyle Orton was there too, so maybe he's the new Kyle
Orton. There's a serviceable quarterback for you right there. Oh, Kyle Orton.
Remember that picture I sent you? Kyle Orton getting tagged by the Green Bay Packer guy?
Oh, my God. I forgot about old Kyle Orton. That's crazy. Next one on Cash or Trash. Darren Waller will have his best years in New York. Cash or Trash?
I got to trash it. His best years were his first 3 years. He's done.
I'm also going to trash it. And it's only because I'm not sold on Daniel Jones.
No. Look. Evan Ingram is proof that tight ends in the Giants system don't work.
Yeah, I'm not completely sold. I need another year of improvement from Daniel Jones before I'm like, yo, man, they made the right move. I need at least another year to really feel good about it. And right now, I'm not there with that. So I'm going to trash it for now. But at least the Giants are making moves. I can't beat them up for that. Last one, Cash or Trash. Did Washington make a mistake by not re-signing Taylor Heineke? Cash or Trash?
I'm 50-50 on this, to be honest with you, because, Heineke almost beat the Buccaneers the year they won the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But when we watched him last year and the year before, he was making he would wait and make one big mistake that would cost them the game. Every time. A fumble. I remember he fumbled it, and when they played you guys, they did win, but still.
Mm-hmm.
But Heineke moved on. I really think Ron, if he's got an idea in his head what Sam Howell can do, and I'm with Ty. I love Sam Howell, so I'm gonna trash it. I don't think they made a mistake.
It's a tough one because I want to cash it that they're making a mistake by not break. I'll cash it only to say I feel like he's always been a team player, and I felt like Ron has never really given him a fair shake. I know Ron was the one that brought him there, and obviously Ron was the one that gave him the chance in Carolina, but it's something about if you just watch how he treated him the last 2 years. Like he started the year before, and then he went on a nice little streak, and I don't think how some quarterbacks give you a comfort. And I don't think Taylor Heineke gave Ron Rivera comfort. Yes, he won games for him. But you want to, even if your quarterback's doing bad, you want to have comfort in your quarterback.
Absolutely.
And I don't think he had that. That's why he was able to just jump and give Carson Wentz, put him right back in 20. He had to probably try to prove himself right, man. $28 million. We got to prove that I was, right about it,
And so you weren't.
And you weren't. And so I think they're making a mistake because one, huge fan favorite. They love him out there. And I'll say this before we move on from it. Browns game, when this all happened, the Heineke chants after every mistake, even if it was just a smidge of a bad throw.
Which compared to the way they normally are as a fan base.
Yeah. And then this is the one that got me, and I knew, okay, I said, yeah, and maybe they're making a mistake because he hasn't really done terrible. There's way quarterbacks that have done worse than he has. But the one that got me was when Jonathan Allen, their captain, their bloodline on the defense, got hurt, and we heard he was on the ground, laying on the ground, Heineke. That's how much they love that guy there. So on that perspective, I think it's I cashed that it's a mistake. I love it for Atlanta. You're going to get yourself a guy who can come in who like the fan base is going to fall in love with.
But they already said down there that Ritter is the guy.
Yeah, Ritter's the guy. He's going to start. But you got somebody who's a Georgia guy. He's from Georgia. I think
he's a hometown guy. Yep.
Yeah, Collinsville, I think is what it is. So it's a nice deal for him to go back home. But also, I think that if Ritter doesn't work out, you got somebody solid in Taylor Heineke that can come in and I think make some exciting things happen.
Not taking a shot at the Commanders, but Atlanta's line is way better.
Yes, Atlanta line is way better. I would definitely say that. All right, everybody. That is it here for episode 306 here of the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast. Before we move on, real quick, everybody, make sure you get an opportunity to check us out on all our social media platforms and our website. You can you look at all the greatness there. You can check us out on all of those platforms. Check out LegacyMaker Sports. Check out our shows. Check out our articles. Check out our videos. Check it all out. Check us out. That's all I'm asking. Just check us out. You know what I'm saying? Just check us out.
You make it sound like we're doing a bikini car wash.
I mean, suds and all.
That was funny because I was going to do.
All right, everybody. Once again, thank y'all all for tuning in for episode 306. We'll be back in 2 weeks for our next podcast. Jay is going out of town next week to celebrate 1 year. Yay! Yay! Yeah. All right, look, man, you better clap more than that.
Oh no,
I don't want you to get grabbed.
I'm happy about that, but now we're in the packing phase.
Oh yeah, I heard a little bit of that. I heard a little bit of that last night on the phone.
Oh,
we're talking on the phone, and I can hear some of that in the background.
That's what I'm saying.
My favorite line, y'all, and I hope I'm not saying too much. My favorite line, Jay was like, "I'm not even going to attempt to help because every time I try, you redo it anyway." That was my line.
Facts.
He's like, "Look, man." He said, "Every time I try, like." He sounded like me for sure. I was like, yeah, look.
I pack like my nephews do. I just throw the in the suitcase and zip it up.
Toss it in there.
Yes, you put your arm and put some weight on it and keep it done.
Right, and see what happens. All right, everybody, that is it. Once again, thank y'all for tuning in. Jay, anything you want to say before we get out of here, bro?
No, love your people and God bless.
All righty, y'all. I'm your man, Darrell Owens. Love y'all. Take care of yourselves out there. We'll be back next 2 weeks. 2 weeks for a podcast. Legacy on Fire tonight, special time, 7:00. So make sure you come and join us for a 7:00 edition. We're gonna have Corey Mann from the Undisputed Champions on, along with Cortland Griffin, who's also going to be on, and we're going to have Cortland on when Jay gets back as well.
I was gonna no. We're gonna talk after this. I miss Cortland.
Don't worry, we're gonna get Cortland on.
Cortland is one of the few people that can actually challenge my football mind when it comes to stuff.
So I love it. So we're gonna have Cortland on tonight with, of course, myself and James. So we'll be back at 7:00 tonight. Make sure y'all check that out.
You're a damn traitor. We'll talk.
Why am I a traitor, man? Look,
they should include your ass.
He's Why I gotta get traded to the Jets, man? I don't want no. It's the goddamn Jets. I don't want no parts of that. All right, everybody. Once again, thank y'all all for tuning in. I'm Darrell Owens Jay Quimby. We'll see y'all all in 2 weeks for another episode 307 of the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast. Peace.